Are we at a place where we just have to accept who Ian Book is as a Notre Dame fan base? Or can we say, you know what? In his senior year, there's still room to grow when it comes to anticipation.
You know, for me, Shaun, let's talk after the Florida State game.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that gives us 2 more games plus the bye and then the prep work for Florida State. Because, look, the concerning thing for me, to your point, is that this is stuff we've seen before.
Yeah.
And that was the concerning thing for me. But then I also got to remind myself, you know, Trevor Lawrence last year threw 5 picks in the first 3 games, including 2 against Syracuse and 2 against Georgia Tech. So, you know, early in the season, you're still kind of finding your own way. You know, they don't have scrimmages and preseason games like they do in the NFL. So, you know, whereas an NFL quarterback can get, you know, 3-4 quarters at least under his belt of playing an opponent to kind of work some of those kinks out, college players don't get that. Now, that's not an excuse because Trevor Lawrence didn't get any scrimmages either, and he came out on Saturday and went 22 of 28 for 351 yards. Now, you know, Ian Book's not Trevor Lawrence, which makes what you're saying even more important. You know, because he doesn't have the God-given physical ability of a Trevor Lawrence or a Justin Fields. So he has to be better with the mental part. And to see him still struggling with pre-snap reads, because pre-snap reads are the worst kind of reads because pre-snap reads lead to post-snap mistakes.
Yeah.
Whereas if you make a bad post-snap read, you can still kind of, okay, I'll hit my check down. But when you're reading it out wrong from the beginning, it doesn't work out really well a lot of times, especially when you're playing a good team. So those 2 things to me were problematic, in the fact that he just couldn't find a rhythm. And there's a lot of talk about the offensive line and some of the issues with the pass rush. Well, we knew that was going to happen. You with Chris Rump and Victor DiMakiji on the outside, Derek Tangelo on the inside, you knew there were going to be plays where they got pressure, especially off the edges. You have to know when that happens, climb the pocket, step into the pocket, and keep your eyes downfield. You talked about Chase Bryce. I talked with an NFL guy today about Chase Bryce, and he said the most impressive thing that I saw from him is that kid took a beating. But when he was getting hit, he never took his eyes off the downfield. And I think of the play early in the game where Jason Adamiola almost sacked him. He gets out of the sack, and as soon as he resets his feet, he snaps a ball off on a crossing route for a 10-yard gain. We don't see Ian Book make those plays because once he feels pressure, he gets his eyes down, and it's focused on the pressure.
Yeah.
And he's got to do a better job of, okay, I know what my offensive linemen are doing. It's a basic mic protection. So if those guys come off the edge, they're going to ride those guys outside. I got to step into the pocket and either A, run, or B, keep my eyes open, step up, slide, and throw the ball. Yeah. And it harkens back to the Clemson game. When you look at the second drive of the game against Clemson, you know, the Clemson, they run a post route against man coverage. Miles Boykin beats the corner. And if Ian Book simply makes the same throw against Clemson that he made against Pitt in the 4th quarter, it's 7-0 Notre Dame. Now, Clemson came with a wide rush on the outside, and all Ian Book has to do is climb the pocket like every quarterback is taught and reset his feet and snap the ball off to Miles Boykin, and it's 7-0 Notre Dame. Instead, he puts his eyes down and starts to run, gets stripped, you know, sack, strip. Clemson gets the ball at midfield. Now, all of a sudden, they're going down for a field goal. That's a huge momentum changing game that in a game like that, that'll get you beat. Against Virginia Tech, you'll still be able to come back and beat them because you have better players. Against Duke, you can still win by 14 points. So he's got to start making those plays against teams not named New Mexico and Bowling Green and 4-8 Stanford and Iowa State. And so that's what I want to see. But I also don't want to start assuming he's that same guy because it was just the first game. So am I concerned? Yeah. Do I need to see immediate improvement? Yeah. But I would say the same thing, Shaun. If he comes out on Saturday and he looks like $1 million and he looks like a Heisman Trophy winning contender, I'm going to have the same reaction because it's South Florida. They won 4-8 last year. This is the kind of game we expect him to look great in.
Right.
But let's see him do it, you know, when we get through the Florida State game. Because for all of Florida State struggles offensively, they got a really good defense.
Yeah.
And he's going to be challenged in that game.